Hello, hello, come in. It's nice to be having you. Freedom! Or not, as the case may be. Well, that's me being caught out again. I nipped in for a fly wee pee, then she snuck up behind me and that's me shackled. Which actually is quite pleasant. That's actually the sign of true love, that is, boys and girls. Let's hope she's nipped off home to get the spanky machine. So, what are we here to talk about today? Well, it's a big night for us Scots. Apparently, we've got a Scotland-England football match on tonight, which I imagine we're probably going to get thrashed at. But, being a Sado Masochist, either way, I win. Oh my God, we're getting hammered by England. That can give me a right stoner. So, poetry. Well, here's an interesting one. The Scots are famous for our poetic verse. In fact, Lord Byron is actually a Scotsman. Now, a lot of people think Byron's English. Of course, Byron is famous for having slept with his half-sister, which I think pretty much goes to prove he's from Aberdeen. So, it's interesting. We talk independence as well. There's been an interesting survey out this week, and apparently 95% of MSPs opposed to independence do not believe in the Loch Ness Monster. Now, boys and girls, among some of the lesser developed religions in Scotland, that can actually be seen as blasphemy. Now, on the subject to which I'm often asked, Rubber, are you a man of faith? Well, as a man that travels a lot, I'm always comforted when I'm in my hotel room and I go into the drawer and I find a Bible. Because, I'll masturbate to anything. What? 40 lashes, jaggy hat, nailed to a lumpy wood? That gives me a right stoner. I mean, as a sadomasochist, the whole God thing intrigues me. It's all about obedience, isn't it? Thou shalt not this, thou shalt not that. I mean, the very thought of it kind of conjures up images of being trapped in the Sistine Chapel while the Pope thrashes me with an altar boy. Thou shalt, by the way, sometimes dwarves are involved. I mean, I often think, see when Judas went out to hang himself, maybe he was just having a strangle wank. So, anyway, I do feel it's time we got on with some proper verse. So now it's time for a poem. I'm sorry, could we just cut that for a second? Hello, well, welcome back. Well, sorted out that little dalliance. I'll deal with you in a second. So, Rubber's message for today is all about words, boys and girls. For the Bible may have great words, but it is only one book. And Rubber, as a wordsmith, feels there's been many great lyricists throughout the annals of history. Annals, you get it? So, without further ado, this is a wee number called The Hurly-Burly Hymn Book or the Presbyterian Minister. There was a minister fair radical of the Presbyterian Kirk, whose services had them twerking in the aisles, for tradition he did shirk. He realised to hold the attention span of the Twitter generation, he should let them sing more modern songs for spiritual foundation. For old classics like How Great Thou Art go on for far too long, so let's all sing the sentiments of Bob Marley around a bong. His Hurly-Burly Hymn Book caused a spiritual sensation. He was seen as the greatest moderniser since the Scottish Reformation. Although lyrics of the Dead Kennedys to some might seem quite shocking, a church full of punk rock tunes can set your baptism a-rocking. In his church non-sectarianism you couldn't sing the sash, for he was a man of the people's plight who much preferred the clash. The assembly tried to make him stick to the tune of Abide With Me, but our minister saw the spiritual worth of Paul McCartney's Let It Be. John Lennon is more popular amongst the lefty brethren, but the Kirk elders didn't like the words of Imagine There's No Heaven. His Hurly-Burly Hymn Book caused a spiritual sensation. He was seen as the greatest moderniser since the Scottish Reformation. His congregation were amongst the happiest of flocks, because there are great lyricists in modern rock and pop. Eventually it came to pass his methods spread far and wide. Catholics, Muslims and Mormons all pogoed by his side. It was only Bono of the group U2 that got our minister down, because there just isn't room for two messiahs in one spiritual town. Bombastic worthy do-gooders, we all as wonder-eyed, for U2 really lost their way after the release of Pride. His hurly-burly hymn book caused a spiritual sensation. He was seen as the greatest moderniser since the Scottish Reformation. So when you're dancing at a do, pay heed to lyrical words, because there's more than just funky beats to Public Enemy and the Byrds. Marvellous. Thanks for having us again, boys and girls. Come back next week when I'll probably still be here. Now we're going to deal with you. That can give me a right stoner.